Good evening, folks. There's a point that needs to be discussed here based on the WhatsApps, the number of email messages, and the number of questions I'm getting now that I'm back in the States and resumed this Sunday Refugee Cafe Clutch. Specifically, there seems to be this perception amongst very impatient people that they can vendor shop. Let me explain something to you. RSC doesn't work for you. They don't work for me. They don't answer to you. They don't answer to me. The Amerikaners don't work for me. They don't work for you. And you don't get to choose who screens your case. The U.S. government does that. They have contracts with both organizations. The fact that you even know that RSC and Amerikaners exist is ludicrous. You shouldn't even know. You should have no insight into that whatsoever. But because of the paranoia of South Africans and because of the opaque conduct of the U.S. government, many of us have been covering this story, and as a consequence, you found out about this. It does not matter whether your case is RSC or it is Amerikaners. Your case is not being delayed no matter how many ludicrous, nonsensical, hysterical stories you read in WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups by know-nothings who make assumptions like everyone's got a bum. Stop driving paranoia and raising your own blood pressure. You have no say. You get no voice in this matter, nor do I. The U.S. government decides. It's as simple as that. And for those of you that think you can game the system by submitting a survey to the Amerikaners, do what you like. It's not my place to tell you what to do or not to. Go ahead and gum up the works, create more work for the overburdened people. How many people do you think the Amerikaners have working on this, by the way? 100? Do you think they have 100 people working on this? How many people think RSC are working these cases? 100? Neither of those is even remotely close to the actual number. These people in both groups are working long hours, assiduously, to help you. They make mistakes. They're human beings. They make promises that they have no control over, not intentionally. They're told what they're supposed to do. They forward it, and other people drop the ball. You're not being ignored. And I've yet to see a credible case of someone being mistreated by RSC. I have endless stories of people telling me, people who are in the process, people who've completed the process, and people already living in the States who've gone through RSC, processing their files. And I'm frankly getting a little bit tired of hearing people with unfounded arguments about bigotry and racism by either group. Either group. I'm hearing the Amerikaners will only process Afrikaners. That's bullshit. That's a lie. That's a fantasy. I can tell you for a fact that the Amerikaners have taken on cases of people who've been extremely disrespectful to them, who've lied about them, who've slandered them in WhatsApp groups on Facebook, and they're still processing your cases. And you're still bitching and moaning about it. Game the system any way you want. Be selfish. Jam it up for other people. That's your choice. You know, it's beyond comprehension how so many people are so ungrateful for such a generous gift. Now, this video will piss some of you off. And you know what? I don't care. Don't watch my content. Run off and listen to whatever hysterical lunatic tells you whatever you want to hear. That is your prerogative. I've been telling you the facts. I've been giving you the best, most insightful, cogent, lucid analysis, and like Senior von Rensburg, have correctly predicted virtually everything in this program. And isn't it strange how the U.S. Embassy website has trailed my predictions by days and weeks on every single issue? And every time I bring up a cogent point that needs to be shared with the public, it's funny how a short time later, the U.S. Embassy website is updated and they change their policy to let you know about things. Funny how that works. Maybe you should listen to me and stop listening to the clowns who think they know what they're talking about. And I'm talking about Afrikaners in particular. You know the crowd. You get them together and they all have to be in charge. That's not a slight on Afrikaners. That's a slight on a certain number of people. Folks, you don't control the vendor. You have no say in the vendor. I have no say in the vendor. We shouldn't even be involved or know anything about that. You should simply fill out a statement of interest. When they get to you, answer their questions as best you can. When they give you a case number, then that means your case is entered. And then go where they tell you to go, when they tell you to go, do what they tell you to do, and complete the program. It's as simple as that. And if you are freaking out because 9 days ago you sent an email to somebody and you haven't got a response back, well, then your expectations are unrealistic. They're completely off the charts unrealistic. Tell me, how many of you have been able to get your driver's license renewed by the South African government? Yeah? Okay. How long did you wait for an unabridged birth certificate? How long have you waited for this or that in South Africa? And you're freaking out and you're angry because of 9 days or 2 weeks or 8 weeks? Unrealistic expectations. Now, for those people who've been very patient and understanding, that's good. You have a realistic expectation in this program. Continue your life. Don't put your life on hold because you put a statement of interest in. Nobody owes you anything. There's no guarantee you're going anywhere. If you've committed crimes in the past, you may be going nowhere. If you're not a racial minority, you may be going nowhere. If you are those things, you might still be going nowhere. You might be prioritized lower down the list because someone else's life is in jeopardy more urgently than yours. I don't know. I'm just telling you that when you put a statement of interest in, you're owed nothing. There's no contract. No U.S. government has ever promised you anything. You're not owed anything. And you shouldn't approach this like someone owes you anything. This reflects very badly, specifically in the Afrikaner community, a so-called self-reliant community with sisu, a community that has its own chutzpah, its own drive, that forges its own path. That is not how this is coming across with more than one, more than 10, more than 100, more than 1,000 South Africans, many more than that, behaving in such a fashion. Does this hurt your feelings? If it does, then you must be one of those people. If it doesn't, then you're an understanding, cogent adult who's reasonable and understands that I'm not attacking anybody with this video. I'm simply laying the facts out for you. You don't like those facts? That's on you. You can be angry. You can be pissed off at me. It doesn't change anything. Getting mad at me, calling me names will not change your place in the queue because I have no control of that. Being angry at the Amerikaners won't change your place. Being angry at RSC won't change your place. Creating groups to lie about RSC and people who share fake experiences isn't going to change things. You need to frame your expectations in reality. That's what you need to do. And continue your life. Unless and until you get a phone call. Folks, that's how it works. All right? In the meantime, if you are having legitimate concerns, I urge you to send an email to me. And Professor G has also said he'll accept your emails and listen to your case. And if there's something we can do to explain it, we're happy to do it. If there's something we can do to intervene, he doesn't intervene at all to my knowledge, except in the States. I have intervened in a few cases of people who've arrived in the States and a few other things. But our reach is limited. Okay? Again, on February 6th, you had nothing. No hope. No promises. Did Australia offer you a place? New Zealand, UK, Canada, Germany, France? No, none of them. Netherlands. None of them gave a flying flip about your crisis or your peril. Not one. Not one country. Only one country has. And if you think that the country is going to move at a pace to move everybody at once, your expectations are unrealistic. The pace has picked up considerably, and lots of people have arrived in the States. Nobody has any idea how many, but I can tell you hundreds have arrived here already, if not 1,000 already, or maybe more. Who knows? There's a lot of people just don't want to talk about this. They just disappear into the woodwork when they get to America. So please frame your expectations, be realistic, and don't be needy. It's a bad look for Afrikaners in particular. All right, folks, thanks a lot. Take care.